We're gonna try this again. We're gonna see what happens. Turn my brightness up. Yes, we're gonna see what happens. Maybe we'll actually have some Wi-Fi this time. All right. There's one of them. This is just a little horseshoe knife that's going to end up getting ground and cleaned up. These are made for the kiddos at the farmers markets. I've got some cool little sheaths that go with them. Little pouch sheaths. Are they super high carbon? No. But they don't need to be. You know, you don't want kiddos going and hurting themselves with some ridiculously crazy sharp knife. You know what I mean? I am going to water quench them though. Trying a new cross with Damascus. That's going to be pretty cool. So we're out here foraging. We're just kind of working on a little bit of everything. I've got some of these little knives that are the little horseshoe knives. And then I've got steak flippers that I'm working on. These are all for farmers market type stuff. Just refining that a little bit more. You can see there's still, you see it's still glowing right here. It's not like the heat's completely out of it. But I've still got to work on, once I get these finished, I'm going to start working on these stake flippers. I've got 2 styles of stake flippers. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's water quenching that horseshoe knife. So that's 1 water quenched. Those turn out pretty cool whenever I'm done with them. And I've got these cool little pouch neck sheaths that they go into. But that's one of those. We're going to go ahead and put it back here on the ground as we go. Just got to refine the profile on that other one just a little bit more, then we can quench it. Now, when it comes to the stake flippers, I'm doing a flat bar stake flipper, which I haven't done yet, and then a couple of round bar that I'm going to be going through and squaring up. The lighting's real weird here because of where I had to put y'all. I wonder if does that even help at all? Kind of, you know, it doesn't make it look too crazy. I've got my hat on so that my mic is up here. I guess if I wore it in reverse, it wouldn't be as bad. Yeah, we'll wear it in reverse so that my face isn't fully hidden by the hat. If I put the mic down here, y'all hear the anvil quite a bit. If I have it up higher on my head, it's not near as bad. But we got plenty of things that we're working on. I've got to get all these ready for the farmer's market tomorrow. I'm going to be live streaming at the farmer's market as well tomorrow. Got to go through and thin that spine out just a hair. This blade will probably go on a little bit of a diet whenever I grind it. Just because that little pouch for that sheath is only so big. So I don't need this to be a very, very large knife. Kind of straightening up the handle a little bit. Make sure everything's centered. So that is, there you go, it's a little bit better. That's the other horseshoe knife. Forged in. You almost got to do it like a little integral bolster knife. Heat that back up, quench it. Now again, one of the things that I'm working on is I'm doing some flat bar stake flippers. I haven't done these yet. This is going to be a kind of a new thing. Got to forge the tip down kind of like a knife. But I'm going to stretch the material out quite a bit. So basically, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have a little bit of almost like a spoon or a fork set up to where this end's going to be a little bit wider. And then I'm going to stretch out this material. I'm thinking I'll probably get about that much length out of it, which is perfectly fine for the length of stake flippers that I do. But we're going to work on those flat bars first, and then I'll go into the round bars after that. Again, we got to forge in a tip to this, so coming in at the angles. Coming in at the angles just like that. Slide it out. Back in. Flat. This is going to be a flat bar steak flipper. So we just forged in a tip just like we're making a knife. Local craft show tomorrow. We'll be at OKC show. That's going to be cool. So, yeah. But there's a lot of people that will be. That's a pretty packed farmer's market. So when it comes to the round bar, this is a little bit narrower bar than what I typically work with. As you can see, it's a little round bar. With this stuff, all we got to do is start off by forging it square. So, start off by forging a square point on there, like a little spear point that's square. Look at how, see how cold that looks? Hot. Looks cold, hot. How's my gas bill a month? Well, this is propane, so I would say probably with the propane, propane probably costs me 40, 50 bucks a month. Really? It's not that crazy. Okay, we got that hot. We're gonna quench it real quick. Y'all will be able to hear it. Little ASMR. So it's a water quench. It's nothing. You're not oil quenching these. This was just a horseshoe knife that I forged, and I end up grinding the bevels in and all that stuff. For these are ones that I sell for the kiddos at the farmers markets and stuff like that. I've got some cool little neck pouches that go with them, and basically to give you an idea here, these are what I've forged tonight so far. Pretty uniform. This one's going to go on a little bit of a diet. We got to clean that up just a little bit. So these are horseshoes. they're horseshoe knives. You don't need to oil quench these. These aren't like some super high carbon steel or anything like that. These are for the kiddos at the farmers markets. They come with some super chill little sheaths like this, to where you put the knife in the little pouch right there, and it's just a little neck sheath. Pull it out, use it, do whatever you're gonna do. Nothing too crazy or anything like that. And they're just for the kiddos to have some nice little knives that'll let them cut some rope, or have a little fun with them. For high carbon steels, they all get oil quenched. I've got quench tanks for all of that. Right now what we're working on is steak flippers. Where did my tongs go? Not those tongs. Down here. Happy for you. You found your tablet.
Yeah, except it has no charge.
Okay.
But I should be able to download the app that I want to. It does have charge.
Okay.
Huh?
So, okay.
That's twisted.
No looking forging. Don't worry. No more twisting. Gotta love forging by just muscle memory. Okay, I'm gonna zoom y'all in just a hair so that y'all can see my face. All right, we're primarily gonna be working on that anvil, so that way y'all can just see a little bit better. Let me know if that gets like super grainy or something like that. If it does, I'll zoom you back out, but at least that way you're a little bit closer. Y'all are where you're at because of the Wi-Fi. Thank that Wi-Fi, huh?
I turned off my glasses so that it would be a little more straight.
Yeah.
Which means I am now going to read a book.
Who would? So I haven't really done this flat bar stake flipper thing that I'm doing just yet. This is my first time making this version of a stake flipper. So we'll see how it goes. The round bar ones that are in there, I've done those plenty of times. Now these stake flippers are made out of mild steel. They're not made out of a high carbon steel. Partly because they don't need to be made out of high carbon steel. Should not be spending a whole bunch of money on high carbon steel to make stake flippers. It's not necessary. Typically whenever I'm forging and I am not live streaming or filming a video, I typically have multiple projects in the forge. This is where it's beneficial to be a blacksmith and a bladesmith and a knife maker by being able to do the blacksmithing side of it, because you're able to, for one, everything that I've done right now, you can't stock removal any of this. A lot of knife makers are stock removal guys. You can't stock removal these into what I'm making. You have to blacksmith them. It is the way it is. But the whole point behind this is a lot of times when you're doing stock removal, you're only working on, a few at a time. You can batch them and do all that stuff, but you have other things heating up. I'm making a whole bunch of things all at once. So tonight and the 2 hours that I'm going to be out here working, it is 2 horseshoe knives, 2 round bar stake flippers that are going to be forged into square bar, and then 2 flat bar stake flippers. So I get 6 projects done within that 2 hours. So now with this other round bar one, I just need to forge in that spear point. So we're going and forging it into a square and a taper. We're just turning it a quarter turn each time. We're just forging that down to that, like a square taper, because we need 2 of those. We need one that's going to be the tip and one that's going to be the tail. Now this is going to be fully squared at a certain point because I'm going to want to do twists on it. And whenever you twist that square bar, it looks really cool. I tend to get round bar, not because I can't get square bar. I have I have square bar, so I could use this if I want to, but when it comes to this, I'll just use the round bar. It's a little bit cheaper, and I make it whatever square size I want. You know, again, blacksmith, I can do whatever I want with this steel. Hit it like you. Is this, let's see here. Maybe something special. Yeah, so this one is from like 1900, so like 1905. It's a Trenton Ajax anvil, 170 pound. The one that's over here to the other side, show y'all. Ooh, stop shaking. That one is a 112 pound J. Nielsen Texas Fair Supply collaboration. So it is collaboration. Words are hard. That one is a brand new anvil that I use at the shows and things like that, and whenever I'm doing my demos. But if you wanted like this anvil right here with how clean this one is, that one would probably cost you $1,200 with how expensive anvils are right now. With how clean that this one is, probably about $1,200. Same thing with the Texas Fair Supply, and then I've got a third anvil over here. That one's by Vivor, and then I got a fourth anvil down here. All right. I do classes and things like that, so it's good to have multiple anvils. I'll start stretching this out. I'm going to switch hammers. I'm going to go to the straight peen, cross peen hammer. Cross peen, straight peen. We'll start stretching. So some people would ask, why am I forging with this hammer over here as opposed to just using the rounding hammer on the horn? Well, luckily for me, I have specific hammers that let me do stuff like that. If you don't have a straight peen, cross peen hammer, it would be beneficial to forge on the horn. But I have a specific hammer that lets me do the task that I'm doing right now, and it lets me use the big heavy section of the anvil versus that lightweight section of the horn. My hammer swings do more in this main body of the anvil than they will ever do on that horn. Because more force goes into the material. But I will tell you this, if you're going to do this with this style of hammer, you need to be confident with your hammer strikes, because you can start twisting the steel, you can start accidentally rounding sections, rolling sections over, and that's going to be a pain in the butt and cause you more issues down the road. If you're going to do this, just be used to swinging a hammer. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of control to be able to do that. All right, so we're going to go back to the round bar real quick. We're going to bring that taper back just a hair. So I'm just bringing it back. I'm going to forge that square all the way back to here. Keep distal tapering it, and then bring out the other side. What's up, Mule? Just got done forging a couple of horseshoe knives. Now I'm working on steak flippers. Just, you know, these horseshoe knives are for, you know, people to buy their kiddos a knife at the farmers markets. Elijah White, he made these little pouch sheaths for us. These little necklaces. And the little horseshoe knives go down in there. They'll be ground and everything, but did these, and those are pretty quick. Those are nice because you can sell those for like 60 bucks. They take no time to work on. If we're doing the experiences at the different shows, we charge like $125 for the experience to be able to forge. You know, people have their kids forge those with us because they get a knife, they get a cool little, you know, project that they can work on and that they can actually forge with us helping them. And I'm working on steak flippers. Right now I'm doing tapers on some round bar and turning this bar square. I'll bring that back just a little bit further. Now these steak flippers don't need to be super long. I do some that are pretty dang long, but in all honesty, for a lot of the steak flippers that you see out there, they're almost too long. You really only need a steak flipper to be about as long as your tongs at the most. So you really only need it to be so long. I'll see some steak flippers that are like, you know, 2 feet plus long. So much material in there. Horseshoe knife was to cut in half. Right? And you could do that. Any swords in progress? Not that I am forging right now, but I've got a Golden Gate Bridge cable, Damascus, a sword that I'm going to be working on here very soon. And I've got another one that I'm going to be working with, this really long bar of 5160. This is not a leaf spring. This is virgin 5160. It's 3/8 of an inch thick by 1.5 inches tall. That's going to be a sword, which is going to be really cool. Y'all have never seen me actually do a cross guard sword, so that's going to be a full sword with cross guard made out of wrought iron and all that stuff. It's going to be fun. I'll be filming that though as a video, not a short or anything like that. Same thing for the Golden Gate Bridge cable sword. Those are going to get full-length build videos. Coming in at a little bit of a 45 on here. Started getting a little bit of a twist. That starts happening to you. All you got to do is just roll it up onto its side. Just roll it up onto its side. So if it's tall like this, roll it just a little bit and forge on the angle, and you'll square it back up. Things start getting a little hairy whenever you start forging it and it starts twisting like that. We just keep bringing that down. Crosses look like wood grain. That's cool. If y'all didn't know this, Steve Jennings, he's actually making Damascus crosses. How long would it take to make a railroad spike knife without a hydraulic press? What's up, Skid? So I don't use a press, but I do have power hammer that's made by Steve Jennings, who's in the comment section. If I'm using a power hammer, it's a little bit faster, but for me, if I'm just forging a railroad spike knife, probably 45 minutes to an hour with it. It's probably about how long it would take to forge that. It's a lot of material that you got to compress, and if you're doing it by hand, you just got to have a big power hammer. That's all you got to have. Yeah, just one of them built-in power hammers. So in this section, it's going to be the handle of the round bar that I'm forging square. You just want to get it square. You're not trying to compress it down and taper it or anything like that, because you want that section to be pretty big and be the thickest part of the whole entire thing. To give you an idea for how fast I would forge a railroad spike knife, whenever I was doing the Dragon Forge, we would do about 6 an hour. So, and that's with having to teach people how to do it too. Huh. My son's over here calling me. I'm assuming that's my son. We're going to turn notifications off. No clue why they're calling me right now. All right. Especially seeing how they're like 30 feet away from me in the house. in there and do. Now, these little round bars started off at 7.5 inches long. By the time I'm done tapering them out, we'll probably end up with about 13-inch long stake flippers, which is plenty long for the style of flippers that I do. Same thing with the flat bar. Started off at about 7.5 inches. Right now, let's see how long we are. So we started 7.5 inches. We are already almost 12 inches. So almost 12 inches, and we're not even near done. Work on that other one. Switch to the cross beam straight beam on this. One of the things that you'll learn while you're smithing is that your natural reaction to when something drops out of your tongs is to want to grab it with your hand. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You will burn your hand. All right. Keep tapering this just a little bit more. So the hammer that I'm using is a 3-pound hammer. This is a 3-pound rounding hammer. Setting with Fortune Weekend to learn. Heck yeah. I work on anything currently. Business been slow. Hunting knives that are just nice. Orders for hunting knives? Yes, I do. Your carpal tunnel hurts watching. Yeah, if you do this enough, This is nothing. When I was doing the Dragon Forge, we would be forging like this, and it would be super hot outside for 10 hours straight. So we would go starting at about 8, 9 a.m. and then forge until about 6 p.m. and you just get used to it. What's funny is that by the end of the day, this arm right here will be like an inch and a half, almost 2 inches larger than this arm. So just from swinging and forging, and typically whenever I was doing that, I was using this hammer right here for whenever I was trying to fix all their stuff. That's a 5-pound rounding hammer. And I would forge with that crazy thing the whole entire time that I would have to forge. Get a lot of stuff going with that hammer. That has forged hundreds of railroad spike and horseshoe knives, hundreds upon hundreds. Let's do that other one. Stretching it out. So I get a lot of people that ask about, like, they ask if my shoulder gets worn out doing this, or my hand. If anything, whenever I'm going back and forth, and forging everything back to back, if anything happens, my hand more gets numb than anything, because you're swinging like that. And it's just like if you were throwing a baseball over and over. Throw a baseball, throw a baseball, throw a baseball. The blood flow starts getting screwed up to your fingertips because you're swinging and doing that. If you do this for about a minute and a half straight, you'll feel your fingertips go numb and might be a little tingly. That's about what happens whenever I'm forging back to back to back to back to back, is it messes with your blood flow and your fingertips get tingly. But for me, if you watch how I forge, for one, you'll see me actually squat my knees as I'm forging. Now I'll bring my whole body down a little bit. And I'm using my shoulder to just pull the hammer up. And then I give it a nice assist to come down. But I'm not gripping the hell out of the hammer. The hammer is rocking in between these two fingers primarily. Like there'll be a little bit here, but primarily it's just swinging and rotating inside my hand right there. And I'm just letting it flick, 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 flick. Using the rebound of the anvil to bring it back up into my hand. And if you think that that's hurting the anvil, it's not. Big swings with like other random hammers, like cross pins and stuff like that. That's what hurts your anvil face, not the flat side of your rounding hammer. can get really cool wire brushes like that from Texas Fair Supply. One of my favorite brushes. Aluminum handle, lets you actually grip it like this. Scoop across it. You can grab it with two hands if you're helping somebody, if you got it locked into a vise. Or grab it like this and pull to you. These are directional. All these little hooks, they're hooked forward. So whenever you go to clean it, it scoops the stuff off. Forge scale and things like that. Oh, I get a little drink. Okay. Other flat bar steak flipper. I'm probably going to go just a hair longer than that. I'm going to end up tapering this out even more. But all in all I'm trying to do right now is square this thing. What's up, Plunder Shop? So I'm just trying to get this to where is it a nice square, because I'm going to end up doing a twist down the center of it. We're working on steak flippers right now. We were forging some horseshoe knives earlier for the farmer's market. All this is for the farmer's market tomorrow. So a couple of horseshoe knives. They fit real nice in the hand. Little 3-finger around the little backside and down here. But a couple of those with this cool little neck pocket sheaths that Elijah Wood with Working Hand Forge, he made those. Let's go to the other flat bar one real quick. I'm gonna do the distal or the taper on the end just a little bit more. You want to really get after that, because if you let it cool too much, whenever you're forging a taper like that, you'll shear the grain structure and split the tip. Just straightening it back out right now. I'll end up rounding that end, but you can see how narrow I brought it down with that point. So now, lengthwise, we are at almost 14 inches. So almost 14 inches with that. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and do this other one just a little bit more. So one of the things that you'll see, if I had y'all really close, is that whenever I forge that fast on there, it actually heats the tip back up. So it'll start doling a little bit. I'm forging so fast that it starts building heat back into it, and it will start glowing again. Let's see where we got that one to. That one's probably not as long as the other one yet, because I haven't tapered it out as much. I mean, we're only about a 1/4 of an inch difference in length. Not bad. Okay, so now go back to the round bar ones real quick. I'm using 2 different tongs. These tongs are actually for flat bar. They are box jaw tongs. Maybe. There we go. These are flat tongs, but the jaws are actually rounded in the center there, which means they hold flat bar and round bar really well. So I'm just gripping them with the center, and that gives me that round bar grip. I'm working on the 8ths right now just a little bit. While I don't have a ton of heat into it, it's just gonna start rounding it a little bit. So basically, we forge my hands don't really make a square very well, but we forge a square, and then we start forging on the corners of that, and we get 8ths. I didn't know if I'm on hook last week. Where your shark even after splitting ribs. Haha, nice. So I have people that'll comment saying that me forging how I'm forging right now makes their back hurt because they see me down here and it looks like I'm hunched over doing this stuff. But whenever I'm forging close to the anvil, or typically I got my feet about shoulder width apart when I'm forging, I will drop my back foot back and lower myself forward so that my back's still straight. I'm lowering my body to the anvil. So I'm still doing the same motion, I'm just dropping my torso closer to the anvil, not bending over, I'm just stretching my legs out. I do this all the time. They're up here, right there. Yes, they are. And now we just got to flatten that bar out. A little bit of auto body hammer. So just planish everything. Could you imagine the people that are just chiming in, seeing me forge with this tiny little bitty hammer? Probably thinking that that's what I forged the whole entire time with. This would take forever. This is just a little planishing hammer. It lets me get a really square, flat taper all the way down. So we're really uniform with the taper as we go down, no matter which side we're looking at. I'll end up cleaning this up right here, making sure everything's shift to center. We got a nice subtle taper all the way to the end. And what I'll do right now, while I have it out, take a file to it and just sharpen it a little bit. We're going to leave the end square. Steak flippers don't need to be super sharp. Now I say that, but there's some people that do the steak flippers and they leave them puppies really dull. Don't do that. Like it shouldn't be fighting its way into the meat. Even that might be a little bit too sharp. That's where we're at right there. That is actually perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the back side in the forge, and we're going to get the handle side all perfect. head in, bud. Hey, you too, man. Thank you for being here. Again, y'all don't know Steve Jennings. He's the maker of my power hammer. This awesome Revolution 2x72 that I have down here that I gotta put the motor and VFD on. He's amazing dude. Absolutely amazing dude. He's the closest thing to an apprentice that I got. What's up, babe? I'm not calling y'all babe, I'm calling her babe. So who tried to call me a minute ago? I guess Toby did. If he's gonna hash your phone. Huh?
Super skinny.
Oh yeah. I got the blacksmith Ozempic. Square it just a hair. Does it feel good next to the forge?
I was trying to see if you could read. I can't.
75.
Those.
Oh, comments? It's 8:30 here. I still got to get ready for tomorrow's hunt. Feed the horses. Yep, and I'll be forging tomorrow morning at the farmer's market here locally.
Yeah, I told her that we're gonna make like crosses, stick flippers, or maybe a small knife profile. I was trying to keep it within those.
Yeah. At least if I made the knife profile, I wouldn't have people trying to buy the thing instantly. But we'll see how that goes.
We need to take a bucket of water too.
Yep. Gotta do one more round on that, and then I should be able to flip it to the back side. So now that we have this tapered on that side, what blade style is this? Steak flipper blade style. That's what we're working on right now, steak flippers. I did these at the beginning of the live stream. A couple of horseshoe knives. These are not high carbon. These are a medium carbon. I do water quench them, and they do get decently hard. They get about as hard as a knife that you would buy at Academy. So people are like, you can't harden horseshoes or railroad spikes. Guys, y'all are buying 50 Rockwell knives all day from Academy or Walmart. Basically the same thing. So people think that their Chinese-made random Walmart knives are like awesome. No. They're awesome with a lowercase a. I know what you do. I'm gonna have all the fun.
Nothing's charging for tomorrow. At least it's charging.
All I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just centering I guess you could say, you can call it the tail, but I'm centering the tapered part inside the handle. We don't need a lot of heat in the body of this when we're doing this particular phase. The whole point is just to adjust it as we go so that centers into the hand area, the handle. This is going to be a steak flipper. It's a flat bar steak flipper. Saw blades, good. Yep, saw blades are great. And so are leaf springs. A lot of the stuff that I initially started forging, knife-wise, was leaf spring material. We're going to put a texture in that next. But a lot of the knives, and I still make knives out of leaf springs. I got tons of old leaf springs in here that I actually trust the material on. Doing light hits on this because I'm having to re-square it just a little bit. Started turning into a rhombus. Whenever that starts happening, you gotta fix it. Okay, we're going to heat that up one more time, and then we'll use the auto body hammer on it to just flatten it, just like we did the other one. Let's work on this round one to get it to the next step on it, so it's up there with the one that we've already got at that phase. Same kind of thing. We're just doing light hammer strikes. And we're just going to straighten it. And of course, I say light hammer strikes. I am using a 3-pound hammer, which is as heavy as some of the sledges that you buy at the store. I swing it like a little bitty tiny hammer. It makes it look like it's lighter than it is, when really it's not a light hammer. Give you an idea, my rounding hammer, or this turning hammer, that is a light hammer. You can swing the heck out of that a lot and not have near as much fatigue, but I use this 3-pound hammer to get it done and get it done quick. Okay, square this one off with the auto body hammer. This is just planishing the steel, smoothing it out, making it nice and even and square. That way when we do the twist, it looks really clean. All right, then we take our file that tip in. Barely got to do any work with this because we already tapered it so much with forging that we're only doing a little bit of filing. probably good enough. Remember, you do not have to have these super sharp. That's good enough. Okay, so now we'll grab it, flip it to the other side, work on the handle. Now that we're at that phase, and that one, we're going to grab the other one that we had already centered everything, and we're going to put some texture in the handle. I'm going to use the cross peen, straight peen. Flip it over. Where are you going? Again, do not grab hot steel. Even if you don't think it's super hot down there, just know that it is. A little bit of curve to it. I don't think it's going to focus in on this, but I want y'all to see this. It fell out of the tongs and stabbed into the base. That is wild. It's not on the ground. That is awesome. Instead of me having to get it off the ground, it's right there. It just fell and stabbed straight into the base there. That is wild. Okay, we're looking good there. I'll heat it up and I'll move it over whenever we actually do the twist. So right now, that one is ready to heat up and twist, because I'm probably going to do more of the twist towards the top. Probably put it in with the handle in the forge, because I need the main body of it to be hot. Alright, so now we need to work on the handle on this other one. Making sure we get back to center. That'll work. Now we can go ahead and twist our body. I say twist the body, but twist the main taper. By that I mean the tapered section. So that'll go into the forge. We're going to pull this other one out of the forge. What in the world? I've had y'all focused on my feet the whole entire time. I am sorry. We're going to put you right back there at the vise. And I promise that this time, after we do the zoom in part, I will make sure you're back at the anvil and not staring at my feet. This is not that type of live stream. Get like demonetized for saying that. Okay. So we're gonna put the handle part. Well, no, maybe we'll put the the lower part in the vise. And I'm gonna back up so y'all can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so we got that lower part in the vise. We're gonna grab our handy dandy twisting tool. And we're gonna twist. Then what we're going to end up doing is we're going to heat the other side and we're going to twist it the other direction. But give me just as well. Let me brush this off. And I'll let y'all, bring it up close to y'all so y'all can see it. So that's the twist. Why we're called blacksmiths, because our hands look like that. Okay, so now we'll put the pointed side in. We'll twist this other one, and then I'm going to end up working on. Where are you going? Get over here. Twist this. Yeah. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the two round ones real quick while these are heating up the other side. That's the twist on that one. Let that go back in. Well, y'all can actually stay zoomed in exactly where you're at, right there. Rounding hammer. Now this side's not going to get much of a taper because it's the handle side, but it will get a little bit of a taper. I'm more focused on squaring it and keeping it square to the front section that we did already. We're going to do that again with this other one. Okay. Leave those in the forge for a second. Let them heat back up. We're going to go back over to the vise. Right over there. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Earthquake test. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna put it in the vise with this section down in here. So the section that's already been twisted is cool. So we're going to go the other direction. And then we'll end up straightening that up with the wooden mallet. You don't want to do this part with the hammer because you'll mess up the twist. You'll flatten the peaks of the twist. So that is what a double twist looks like. Yeah. I wish that was easier to see. I'm looking at it in the camera. The camera kind of plays, you know, with your eye a little bit. Because it seemed like it was a little off. Let's go ahead and put it back in the forge, and then we're going to do the hook on that one next. But for now, let's go ahead and do the twist on this other one. I want to let that lower piece cool down just a hair. So that whenever you twist the bottom part, it doesn't go through and untwist the top part. So I'm going to show y'all something, and this is something we're going to fix here in just a second. Let me straighten it out just a hair, and I'm going to show you what we're going to end up fixing. It's not a big deal. Most people probably wouldn't care, but it's like, it bothers me. So in this twist right here, where it's not tight, it's tight up here, it's tight down here, but we have this little bit of lazy twist. I'm going to show you how to fix that. So we're going to heat it back up. And then we're going to dip the section that we don't want to twist in the water. And it's going to isolate that heat just to that little section there and be good. So, Okay.
It's a good story.
Cool. Y'all see this? Yeah, you can see it a little bit. Okay, so on the round one that we have squared, all I'm going to do on the next heat for that particular one is use the planishing hammer to smooth it out. This one's actually good. So go ahead and planish it. Okay, that's good. That's got, we went from round to square to tapered. So that's looking good. Oh, there we go. All right, so now on the one that had the little bit of a lazy twist, we're going to cool this section that we don't want to twist. We cool this section we don't want to twist in the water. Now that twist blends into each other really well. We don't have that weird lazy twist in that section right there anymore. Go back in with the wooden mallet. Just kind of straighten it up a little bit. gonna heat it back up just a hair. And we'll straighten that. So now on the one that we already have the twist looking good, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna heat this back up because I need y'all to be looking at the anvil for this part. So we're gonna heat that back up. What we're gonna do is work on the hook on that one, the actual part that hooks into the meat of the steak flipper. It only takes a second for that to heat back up. You want this hot because if you don't have it hot, it will start to crack on you. So we're gonna go and just rock it over. Let's see. Which way do I want this? We're going to change that. The orientation of the hook is really, really, really key. So I'm going to take and straighten this one. Okay, so the orientation of the hook is really important. I need it to go up and over this way. So if I need it to do that, I need to hook it. I need to hook it to the side. So basically, for the orientation to be right, here is the paddle, the part that's going to be in your hand. This needs to hook to the side and then bend over. Saying stuff like that around a bunch of dudes is just interesting. Okay, so we need to straighten this back out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat it back up, hook it to the side, and bend it. Yep. I haven't done the flat bar ones yet. This is the first time doing these. So we need to go off to that side. Heat that back up, go to the other one. Again, go off to the side. straighten it with the wooden mallet, not with the hammer. So once we got it hooked over where it needs to go, we need to do any of the straightening with the mallet. Now, one of the things we need to make sure of is that whenever we are sitting it in resting position, that hook isn't going past the actual bottom of the base there. I'm going to put it on top of the anvil, or on top of the forge, and we are good with where it's at. Basically, so that whenever it's sitting down, that point isn't touching whatever it's sitting on. And it is not right now. That is absolutely where we want it to be. That can be quenched and hot waxed, because I'm not ready to quench and hot wax it. It's going down on the ground. Maybe not where I'm going to be standing eventually. So that's going to go on there. And then whenever I get ready to start doing that process, we will pull it back over. Okay, got that hooked over. That's looking good. Same test. Sit it down. We are not touching the thing that it's sitting on with that spike. Spike looks good. That can go down here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get these flattened. At this phase, we are just planishing. And smoothing. Alright, that looks good. That's ready to twist. Put that back in there. Grab the other one. Same thing. So if y'all remember, this started off as a round bar. All the squaring that's done to it was all done by me. The nice thing about that is you get to choose the size of your round bar when you do that, or the size of your square bar. And I tend to do it a whole lot with the round bar. I'll make long ones out of slightly thinner round bar. And I don't know if y'all are chatting right now or not chatting right now. Sometimes I gotta reset the chat in order for things to pull through. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do the twist. Not the dance, but the, you know, the actual thing. Testing. All right, cool. Yeah, I can see it. So now we're going to do the twist on this one. This is going to be one continuous twist. I'm going to quench the very top part, because that's the part that I'm going to be holding on to. So the very top part is dark. That's the part we're going to grab onto to do the twist. Like I said, just one continuous twist on this one. We'll heat that up and mess with that a little bit. So same process on this next one. Quench the very top, just like that. Gotta pull it off to the side just a little bit. Yeah, that fixes that. So now on these round ones, I'm gonna do a phase that y'all probably, I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see from here. Y'all probably won't care too much about it, but I'm gonna be right over here. Yeah, y'all can see me. This will save a little bit of time, a little bit of tip on there. I'll pull y'all back over here so that y'all can actually see this. You know what I mean? I'll do that same exact step on this one. And now we can go ahead and fold that end over. Keep the wooden mallet over here because we're going to need that. This is another one where you got to think through the same process like I was doing on the flat bars. You got to make sure that as you're doing this phase that you are focused on where the actual square sides of your flipper are. And the whole reason why you got to focus on where the actual flat sides are is so that whenever you rotate this, this thing sits naturally on a square side. It's not going to sit on the corner or anything like that. So you want to make sure that whenever you actually do this, that you have it oriented to where the flat is going to be on the bottom. You don't have it slightly on an angle, because it'll never sit flat or square. And because we don't have the spiral all the way down at the end on this one, we can actually do the straightening with a regular hammer. Except for the upper body section right there. We need the wooden mallet for it. Well, the last time that the fire trucks or ambulance blew by, we lost Wi-Fi, so we'll see what happens. Voila! Now it sits exactly how it's supposed to sit because it's on the square side. If you had it on that side, it would just want to roll over. It's on a flat side, and it sit exactly where it needs to be. So now we're going to put that one down here because it's going to be the, we're going to start quenching those here in just a second. And then hot wax them. And I'm going to be real with y'all. Y'all don't have to go as crazy as I do about straightening these. I'll be real with y'all. I undercharge for these with how straight and clean that I want to make them. I should definitely probably charge a lot more than I do. But I enjoy making them. Okay, that one's going to be warmed up. Woo! I'm probably going to lose y'all here in just a second. So basically, the whole process here is to heat this up, quench it, and then hot wax it. I'm just letting y'all know that I'm probably going to lose y'all because my battery's going to die, and I can't charge it with how it is right now. I use a bar of 100% beeswax. Not all the candle wax crap. 100% beeswax. I heat them up. Go through, quench them in the water. Just the tip. Then the body. And then I take them and grab them with my strolling tongs. And I wax the body. With hot wax, this is going to burn, not really burn, but like melt into the steel and give it a nice, good protective coating that's going to last a very long time. And it's going to darken it. And I'm going to do that with all the rest of them. And then I take a white Scotch-Brite pad once this fully dries, and I slightly buff the whole entire thing, because Scotch-Brite white ones, all they do is just buff. And that's it. Steak flipper. We did 4 steak flippers, and we did 2 horseshoe knives. There we go. I'm going to end it here before my phone dies, and we'll put it on the charger. I will catch y'all tomorrow for another live stream. Come by. We'll be doing it in the morning. I'll be at the farmer's market live streaming there. I'll catch y'all then, and we'll do another daily dose in the evening. But for now, I'll catch y'all tomorrow. See y'all.